You have to plan and you have to wait and you have to plan in small bits, but you also have to wait for the things for when God says that the timing is right for them. I also believe in God winks and in conversations you have. And it's almost one of those things where, why did that person say that? Or who is that person that came up all of a sudden at this time rather than 6 months ago? And your God winks are there if you have your eyes open to see them, but you also need to be open to receive them. Like how you said, like in a receiving season or having your hands open to hear what he has to say. And it might not always necessarily be directly through him, but it might be a conversation from someone, or when you're in the car and a certain song comes on, or you happen to hear a certain conversation that's taking place next to you, or in a small group and things like that. When you're like, this is way too not coincidental for this to actually not be like, hey, there's some more depth to this that I need to pull out to see kind of how this goes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have any tips for seeing those God winks?
I think the biggest thing is that if your heart is closed, you won't see them. If your heart is open to what he has for you, and if you kind of go through life with, this is going to be one of those days where I might hear from him, I might not, or it might be a quiet whisper versus a loud speak. For me, I also look at it that I have random things pop in my head all the time. And sometimes they're from me, yes, but sometimes I also feel that they are driven from the Holy Spirit. And for example, this past weekend, I decided to do a market at the last minute, like literally Friday night at 8 o'clock. I decided I was doing a market. And I've prepped everything so well now that it takes me 30 minutes to load my car and then get everything done. And so it's no longer for the most part, hey, I'm doing a market for this weekend. So all Thursday, Friday, I'm on a commission and then I'll see y'all later. The nice thing too with flower preservation, you can't do things. You have to do things ahead of time. You can't just do them the night of. But on that, it's kind of one of those like, if you don't listen to your gut is not necessarily your gut. It's usually the Holy Spirit that's guiding you and trying to get you to listen. And if you aren't paying attention to what's around you because you're so focused on one particular thing, you might not see that something even better is right next to you because you have blinders on instead of being open to what could possibly be happening next. So, but that market ended up being one of the best markets I've ever done. And it was one that I didn't plan for. And it was just a last minute thing. And it's like, huh, okay, like this is really interesting how this is working in this season where it's like I will trust and I will let go. And if my husband says it's okay, because with our kids and with sports, I'm one of those that I want people to say, hey, let me check with my family to make sure it's okay versus I'm just going to go do this and everybody else needs to be okay with it. But I also believe that, supporting your family is really important and to kind of figure out what is a friction and what is something that's fantastic for y'all in the long run of things. Because if it is something that is constantly friction, here and there and everywhere, it's not necessarily something that's going to be good for anybody.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. You've got given us some really good insight today, just for the record.
I
Is
hope
there
so.
anything else you want to share with us?
Keeping hands open has changed everything. Like praying with hands open instead of closed has changed everything for me because I feel like when I have my hands open, I am ready to hear and receive versus when they're tight, all I can think about is all the things that I'm stressed about that I'm praying so hard, but you never know what you're meant to endure. And just because you followed, a Christ-like life does not mean that life is going to be easy by any means. But the more open you are to receiving whatever he has in store for you, even if it's not had any idea what you thought even if it's not anything that you thought originally would have been planned, chances are it's going to be something that's even better.